Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. So, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me. Those of you that have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also contact me. Now, when I get an echo. So, those of you who lend your friend and your family your hard-earned cash, and you cannot get it back, feel free to contact Real Talk Debt Collection Department, and they will be glad to assist you in any way possible. So viewers, as we start off the news tonight, news in a different way, news in depth, where we give you the opportunity to call in and voice your concerns and your opinion on matters that interest you. So viewers, Minister of Works and Transport, Mr. Rohan Sinanan, has stated that the Trinidad and Tobago new fast ferry, the Boko Reef, is yet to be ready to make its first sailing to Tobago. The Boko Reef, which arrived on April 7 from Australia, remains docked at the Port Authority Cruise Shipping Complex in Port of Spain. The vessel, built by Incat Shipyard, has the capacity to accommodate 1,000 persons. Sinanan further noted that a date has not yet been set for the vessel's first sailing, and the vessel has to go through its quarantine period for staff, and everything has to be certified. This is according to Rohan Sinanan. He stated that there is no rush to get the vessel on the sea. Call good night.
Good night, Mr. Saheed.
Go right ahead.
I would like to say two things. This education woman, every day she have a different hairstyle, a different color in she head, moving all over the place, and is studying about these 4 children. Mr. Saheed, what is wrong with these people? And nothing. This man they call Rowley and that man they call DLI thing. They know it's a Venezuelan bring that other virus in this country. And you know that man they call DLI thing would not speak the truth, Mr. Saheed.
We know that.
Would not speak the truth. The man is a blatant liar, he and all of them. You understand? Thank you, Mr. Saheed.
Thank you for calling in, my dear. So viewers, as the new COVID-19 infections increase daily and the Brazilian variant are confirmed locally, the Supermarket Association is now moving to implement a 1 person per family code for shopping or shoppers. In this order, to limit crowd, especially at the month end in groceries and supermarkets, SAT President Rajiv Dipti stated that this plan is aimed to encourage the public to shop in smallest number. He stated the families have also been using supermarket to meet and spend time with each other while shopping. As one way to remedy the crowd issue, consumers have been encouraged to allow 1 person per family to shop and leave other family members, especially those in a high-risk category such as the elderly, stay safe at home. So viewers, you know, whenever the Supermarket Association in Trinidad and Tobago, they have any move or anything or coordinating anything, you know, we just have them on our program. So tonight we have the Supermarket Association President Rajiv Dipti. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Saeed. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, I want to thank you for joining us. I know every time I reach out to you, one thing, you never hesitate to come live on television.
I never do, because I want the viewers to understand the reasoning for the decisions that we make. I want them to understand what the thinking, the strategy is. I want to be very accessible. I want to answer any questions. So tonight I'll take yours, my friend.
So how do you plan in implementing a 1 person per quote of shopping come about? How did it come about?
Okay, so let me dive a little bit into that. So the thing about it is, Syed, we're seeing a spike in cases right now in Trinidad and Tobago, and what's going on is that at this month end, we're anticipating high volume of traffic inside the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with cinemas, beaches, places of recreation closed, what we're finding is that persons are coming to the store for a social experience or as a place of recreation. And it's creating a situation inside the stores where controlling the crowds are becoming very difficult.
Yes.
So this month end, we expect to see a lot more persons inside the stores. And the reason we're strongly encouraging one member per household, the idea is that households should designate persons to do the grocery shopping, because it does not make any sense to bring your children,
Mm-hmm.
to bring grandmom, to bring the elderly into the stores. You're putting them at risk, and you're putting other persons at risk. Right now, we were talking about flattening the curves when tonight the caseload is 223 cases.
True.
And we're seeing that the caseload is spiraling out of control, at least for the testing that is being done in the public domain. Now, what we understand it to be is that we want to do our part. We want to encourage persons to be more responsible. This is a proactive measure to really reduce the transmission and spread of the virus. So in doing so, Syed, we are hoping that people continue to be responsible. We had a meeting with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service today, and the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Wendell Williams, and the divisional heads of the police service. Now, what came out of that meeting was this understanding that we're talking about right now with regards to the background of the situation. In addition to the behavioral protocols encouraged by the Ministry of Health, which as we know is hand washing, mask wearing, social distancing, we want to encourage families to not take unnecessary precautions when they come to the grocery stores. We would like you to designate shoppers, maybe one or two persons, to be as practical as possible. Now, I want to make it clear that there is no hard and fast rule preventing you from bringing your family to the grocery store. But it simply does not make sense when you weigh the risks to bring everyone. In some cases, it's entirely unavoidable, where there's single households, single family, single parent households, where in some cases you have dependents who need to come to the store to get things. We understand that, and we're prepared to work with you. But don't create clusters inside the supermarkets that could become high risk, because there's a certain amount of pandemic fatigue setting inside. People are really fed up. I myself am fed up. But that does not mean that we abscond ourselves of the responsibility that we need to really manage this crisis, because vaccines are finished yet again, and we'll be waiting on another batch. And as of today, 41,000 persons have been vaccinated.
Yes.
So, you know, it's nowhere near enough. We could only hope and wait until the next set comes, and then we could start over phase 2 of the vaccination drive. So in the meantime, we have to take precautions, and there are irresponsible people out there who make it hard for John public, and we don't want our shoppers to be paying for that. So which is why we're setting some protocols about how we will continue to treat with their safety for their benefit.
Now, Rajiv, in dealing with the crowd coming to the grocery, right? Now, is there a time frame that is being set where supermarkets and small mini-marts across Trinidad, do they have a time frame that when you all would start this process?
We hope to start this before this weekend. Well, ahead of this weekend. It's really something that we've been working on, and something that we feel is necessary as an emergency measure, where we see the trends going. So for us, it's a little bit about getting ahead of the curve in dealing with this, and shoppers could start looking forward to an enhanced shopping experience by Friday for the latest.
Now, would there be an extended time frame for opening and for the opening of supermarket, like an extended. Now let's say you open from 7 to 8 p.m. right? Now would there be an extra additional time for, let's say, the one who cannot come during the day?
So,
because not
just to
everybody
put it
know how
back-
to make groceries, Mr. Rajiv.
Yeah, no, correct. Typically, Saieed, the trends inside supermarkets, when people get paid, they come to the stores, right? So that spits in for a month end. Then you have a very couple dead weeks in the middle of the month because the shopping patterns and trends have changed.
Yes.
People are more poorer on average now because of COVID and a number of related reasons. But when they get paid, they flock to the supermarkets because Trinidadians love to spend their money, and that's a fact. So
Yes.
that really for us, it's a kind of a cute spike. So we have no restrictions on opening or closing hours like last year. But what we have is some of the larger stores, everybody's free to set their hours of operation.
Yes.
I know for a fact that some of the larger stores and the larger chains will be running possibly until 10 p.m.
Okay.
And they are advertising those hours on their social media pages. Customers are also advised to reach out to us and to them if they would like more information. We can try to assist and provide. And remember, I want to tell customers, you guys also have some options. Curbside pickup is still a thing.
Right.
WhatsApp delivery is still a thing. So I understand that there are people who are frightened to come to the stores, but you
Yes.
still have options. You still have options.
Now, one other question before we go.
Sure.
So far, have you all gotten in touch with the Ministry of Health, or have the Ministry of Health respond back to you concerning purchasing the 30,000 vaccine that you all would love to purchase for your workers? What is the latest update on that?
I can tell you we did receive a written letter from Mr. Terrence from the Ministry of Health on Monday. Gone. It was in essence what it said is they would like us to identify the supplier of our vaccine, the WHO approved supplier. They would like to see an agreement of sale. They would like to know some more details. We have provided some of these details in our own written submission to the ministry. So in some ways, we are having to double back on some of these things that they are asking for. And also, too, we are having some internal conversations with the stakeholders who said they are willing to work with us to buy the vaccines. However, as time goes by, Saieed, I can tell you the appetite is still there, but it's certainly something that we're working on still, and I can't really say too much more about it at this time.
Now, I just want to touch on something. The minister did say at one point in time that the private sector, once the vaccine is approved by the Ministry of Health, the private sector could purchase it from the government. Now, between you and I, don't you think it would be easier if the government purchased the vaccine and you all purchase it from the government, seeing that they want this long list of requirements?
Yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying. I fully agree with what you're saying, that the government spending money and we buy from them,
Yes.
that they make vaccines. Because the way that the pharmaceutical companies are operating right now during the pandemic, they are only allowed to deal on a government-to-government basis.
Yes.
So if you have to give me permission to deal with a pharmaceutical company, I need a letter from the government saying that, listen, Mr. Rajiv Dipti is authorized to transact business on behalf of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago as an agent for the purchase and acquisition of vaccines. It would be easier for the government to buy the vaccines and then say, listen, we could, if we have an agreement in place with you guys before we purchase it, that kind of gives us some peace of mind that we will be compensated for it. But again, Saieed, I don't know how many people thinking like you.
Because, I mean, looking at what they're doing, right, the private sector cannot go out because there's too much requirement. You understand? In order to go to a pharmaceutical company to buy that, the first thing they would say, well, who are you? Who you represent? What type of indication or association you are with the government? So it is easier for the Ministry of Health to purchase the vaccine and you will just come and purchase it from them. Now, this is my logical thinking. I don't know what Terrence and his crew are saying, but I mean, we could both work with that.
I agree with you. I agree with you because there is a lot of confusion, especially when you're dealing with pharmaceutical companies. There's a lot of fraudulent activity out there, so they also have to be careful. And at the same time, too, what the WHO has already, what they're doing is the correct thing. They're dealing on a government-to-government basis because they have a lot of countries that have to get the vaccine. And maybe our government should be looking into the purchase of vaccines actively and maybe asking the private sector to work with them. But I think that it would require another meeting and maybe more appetite from the government for that kind of thing.
Yes. Mr. Rajiv, I do want to thank you for joining us tonight and sharing the info on the latest decision that the Supermarket Association have made for the safety of the citizens of our country. And I do want to thank you for updating us on the matters concerning you all purchasing the 30,000 vaccine for your employees. Thank you once more.
You're most welcome, Saeed, and thank you and good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
So viewers, you all heard what the Supermarket Association have in place for Trinidad and Tobago citizens. And please, now that it is throughout the country that the Supermarket Association have this one person per family going to the supermarket, please go with the rules, because you're saving your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your auntie, and your tanty from contracting COVID-19. And since we have the new variant now, it is a lot more dangerous than the normal COVID-19 that we have. So my friends, please listen to the rules. So as we move on tonight, viewers, head of the Sawa Nur Islam Masjid, Imam Saieed Ali, we have a picture with him? Yesterday replaced late Minister Franklin Khan as a PNM government senator. Ali, who has a root in Siparia, is also chairman of the Concerned Muslims of Trinidad and Tobago group. Ali took the oath of office as a government senator in the Senate yesterday. This was to fill the vacancy which arose following Khan's death. On Ali's appointment, Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Clarence Rambarat, stated, Senator Ali is currently a board member at the Cocoa Development Company. Rambarat also noted that Ali's appointment is a great asset to the Senate and to the agriculture sector. So viewers, we are going to wait and see how it turns out. You know me, once you're appointed to office, once you're appointed to an office, we want to see production. We want to see production. So he's first in the agriculture. Let's see if agriculture will get a boost. Because very soon, Saeed will be in agriculture. I have a lot of things to show, you know, but I'm just waiting for a time frame. I'm just waiting for one or two things to fall in place, and we will get it on the move. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
I got concern for citizens because you see the situation where the police and them taking all the street vendors and them produce?
Yes, that is an issue.
Yes, but that is a simple issue that could be addressed. The response that you need no rocket scientist, although university scholar can address it, because I believe the corporation and the mayor, they can address this by meeting the people and coming to agreement, and let's say they give them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to sell, right?
Yes.
On that day, they can talk to the business community who they will be obstructing, so the business community can let the state people who come in to deliver goods, that the day that the street vendors selling, they're not receiving goods.
Yes.
Right?
Correct, well said.
So they will be obstructing nobody. So on the day that the delivery people, the street vendors would not be selling.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Well said, well said. Now, viewers, a lot of people who is unemployed, they are stretching their hands in the buying of vegetables and selling it on stalls. Now, there are a lot of people on the roadside, there are a lot of people on the corners, there are a lot of people on the streets. Even in Shoguana's not too long, by the flyover. By the flyover. Police remove a whole set of individuals. So now what you want these persons, they are trying to make an honest living. They are trying to prevent buying a gun, putting on a mask, and going and robbing the innocent citizen. They are trying to prevent that. Now, when they come on the roadside to sell, the borough police packing up their stuff and moving with it. Now that is really sad, because these people want to make an honest living. Now let me tell you something. How do you breed a criminal? How do you force people into committing crime? When you do things like this. When you do, remember, these people have a family, you know. They have family to deal with, you know. Some of them lost their good job. They didn't have to come out. But because they lost their job and their home, they decide, you know what? I'm gonna buy some vegetables. We're gonna put up a little stall, and if we make $100 for the day, it will help us. 100 Monday, 100 Tuesday, 100 Wednesday. That will help them buy groceries. It will help turn over a little profit. But when you have borough police and police passing and picking up their stuff, oh, go have a heart. Today, tomorrow, TTPS say they're cutting officers, firing officers because they don't have money. What's going to happen to some of them officers who are acting like bullies on the streets? If they decide to dismiss all the borough police, what's going to happen? What them borough police going to do? The one who paying loans, the one who have education to pay for, the one who paying for a couch in courts and other furniture store, what them going to do? What them going to do? They're setting up themselves to be ambushed on the streets. That is what they're doing to themselves. So the corporation have to understand, the mayor have to understand what is taking place. And that's a serious thing, because let me tell you something. If all don't know how to breed criminal, you see what all doing there? All breeding criminal. All breeding criminal, that when they hear your wife come out and they hear she bar get snatched, what all breed? What all breed? Is what all was doing to the street vendors. It breed criminals. So don't be surprised if you hear crime go up. Don't be surprised if you hear purse snatching go up. Don't be surprised in it. Don't be surprised. So we're going to touch on something here now. We have a call. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
I hear everything Mr. Dipke had to say just now, right? But the people, the consumers and the citizens is listening to the government, is listening to everybody about the advice and everything like that. Cover your hands or do this, whatever, right? But Mr. Dipke and the other members of chambers should get down on the government to find out, or to go with them and let them show them where all the borders are closed. That way, people know that the borders are closed, right? Dipke and all the members of the chambers to go with the National Security Minister and show them, let them show them what borders are closed.
Now, caller.
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying, but Rajiv Dipte is the president of the Supermarket Association. You see, this is the Supermarket Association, the owners of supermarket, coming together to fix that problem, because they have noticed into their groceries, on a month end or on a fortnight, there's a vast amount of people. There is a crowd. And they are trying to minimize the spread of COVID-19 by putting policies in place in their groceries. You see how a store have it? If you do not have a mask, you cannot enter. That is a regulation. If you do not have a mask, you cannot go in. It doesn't matter if you're coming to spend $1 or $1,000. Put on a mask and then come in. They will gladly take your money. But you have to follow regulation. And this is what they're doing. Concerning the borders now, you see the community around the seacoast, they have to alert the stations and let the stations in the community know, well, hey, here what's going on. You see, on this point, it is have illegal immigrants coming in this point. Come and monitor it. That is for the citizens to do. When citizens call me and tell me, Saeed, the Moruga down there, watch me, it's very like that coming in. Don't see dress that have a place I could carry you. Watch me. If army put up a camp, they're holding hundreds of people. That's the information I have. I pass it on. But I'm waiting for authorization. I'm waiting for authorization for my unit to be working next to police officers. You see, I don't just want to just jump in and roll with police just so people go feel Saeed is a police. No. I have an intelligence unit running. But I'm waiting for a certain authorization we already draft up letter and send it and thing. I just waiting. So my unit could be able to roll alongside TTPS officers. And a security company working alongside TTPS. You feel like stupid? You feel like now come out? Think again. So here it is, viewers. We're going to touch on a topic with the newly appointed sort head. So here it is. Those of you, I want you all to step back in time a little bit and recall this incident. The police service has confirmed the new head of the Special Operation Response Team, SORT, is Superintendent Roger Alexander. Superintendent Roger Alexander was announced by the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, during today's TTPS briefing. Griffith stated that given the changes laid against former head, Griffith stated that given the charges laid against former head Inspector Mark Hernandez, Hernandez was immediately sent on suspension leave.
To state that with immediate effect, I wish to state that the previous head of the Special Operation Response Team, Mr. Hernandez, based on the charges being laid recently, he has been suspended with immediate effect. And the new head of the Special Operation Response Team is Superintendent Roger Alexander.
Now, the SORT head is on suspension. So listen this. Question on what criteria led to Alexander's appointment. Griffith stated that he has his reasons. Griffith added that he has dozens of good commanders and will recommend person as he sees fit to ensure the better development of the unit.
I have my reasons. I am not here to give the CV of an individual who is appointed in any position in Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I have a responsibility. I have to ensure that the persons that I see would be most appropriate to hold any position. And it's not just Mr. Alexander. We put so much emphasis on the Special Operation Response Team. Why a person should ask who's in charge of the SIU, our intelligence unit, who's in charge of the cybercrime unit, who's in charge of MOPS, who's in charge of GB, who's in charge of the IATF. So I have dozens of very good commanders who I see based on their leadership skill. I put horses for courses, and I will select and recommend persons as I see fit to ensure the better development of that unit. Each unit, there's a saying that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So now what I am doing is making sure that I have a proper fit of individuals to ensure the improvement of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to serve the country.
Now, I'm not questioning Gary. That is his portfolio. I know mine, he know his. Question on what? Question on what he will be bringing new to the table. Superintendent Alexander stated that at this time, SORT requires experienced policing and something different needs to be done.
Morning, everybody. As for the question, SORT require at this time experience, policing, and bringing that public closer, because we're seeing what's happening now is that with the proliferations of guns and ammunition in our country, we have to do something different. What we already have, we tweak on it, we add to it, to give the public that trust and confidence that all will be well. You want to sleep at night, I want to sleep in the night, I want to walk about my business in the day, you must be able to walk about your business in the day, and persons must be able to go about their lawful business undisturbed. You see? That is what we attempt to change around here.
Now, I want to congratulate, before I about something, I want to congratulate Superintendent Roger Alexander for the position he is now holding and the portfolio he is holding and the task he has ahead of him. I wish him all the best. Good luck in whatever ventures your new plan is to fix TNT. But, there's a but. There is a but. I had some calls from high prominent people in society. Prominent calls. So let me give you a little something for you all to step back a couple years and remember. Inspector Roger Alexander and another police officer, Myers, have been freed of assaulting a man from Santa Cruz in 2016. I just touching back on something to bring something to light here. In order for to bring it to light, I have to go back. So I want to have a little patience with me. Patience. Magistrate Nizam Khan dismissed the charges against the officers in March 2019. So in 2016, the incident happened. Those of you who remember that there was an assault video circulating with Alexander and Myers. Hold on, hello call just now, hold on. So the case started in 2016 and it was dismissed in March 2019. Now hear this. After prosecutors from the office of the DPP is the Directors of Public Prosecution, indicated that it was unable to begin the matter, even though two witnesses were present, and the matter have been set for trial at least 8 times. 8 times the matter have set for trial. 8 times. Witness coming. Both sides are there. Both sides were there. And the matter could not have started. Why? I want to know why. Because as long as you have a witness person, the magistrate will say, let's start it. It have been set for trial. The two witnesses there. And the matter was dismissed. The matter was dismissed. Alexander and Myers were accused of assaulting Christopher Charles with intent to cause actual body harm. Now, for those of you who remember back in 2016, there was the video footage circulating. I remember that. So the matter was dismissed in 2019, which started in 2016. Witness appearing, the magistrate set it for trial, and it was still dismissed. I come to the point now. The charges arose out of an incident near Charles' home at Santa Cruz, Old Road, on July 12, 2016. Charles reported the incident to the police but decided to file private criminal charges. The DPP office then intervened to prosecute the case, and Alexander was suspended from active police duties pending the outcome of the case, and he was also removed as a host of the TTPS television program that is Beyond the Tape. So the matter was dismissed. But listen this, viewers. Listen this. After the matter was dismissed, intelligence coming to me and info coming to me is that the state said that they want to resume the matter when it was dismissed. They want to start back the matter. Witness was there, evidence was there, officers was there, the state was there, prosecutors was there, and the matter dismissed. Could somebody say something? I heard that the state wanted to start back the matter. And up to now, from 2019 to now, nothing have been done. Nothing have been done. Now, Mark Hernandez was suspended for misbehavior in public office. Misbehavior in public office, he was suspended. So we have Police Officer Roger Alexander with an assault matter which hit the public domain very hard, with video footage circulating throughout Trinidad and Tobago. The witness there, the judge there, matter set for trial, you know. The witness there, prosecutor there, judge there, Roger Alexander there, the other officer there, and boom, the matter dismissed. Boom, the matter dismissed. State wanted to reintroduce the matter, and from 2019 to now, I heard nothing about it. Nothing about it. I highlighted that matter on TV. I highlighted that matter on TV. We had the witness there. We had the prosecution there. We had the judge here. Matter set for trial. And what happened? Could somebody say something? Could somebody say, why did the case collapse? While I am congratulating Roger Alexander being the head of SORT, a special unit, while I am congratulating him for the portfolio that the Commissioner of Police gave to him, what happened to this matter? Assault of an individual, he and another fella, another officer. Another officer. The state wanted to resume it, and we never heard nothing again. So Mark Hernandez have been suspended for misbehavior in public office. And we had an officer here, 2 officers. Their matter was dismissed. Their matter was dismissed for assault on a citizen. This is something I want to bring back to you. Intel today coming into me from prominent people in Trinidad and Tobago. Saeed, remember this case? I said, yes, I remember it. The state wanted to start it back, and up to now, nothing. So while I congratulating him here, I decided to bring back the matter here because Hernandez was suspended from office. Misbehavior in public office. An assault matter. So I just want to remind all you, because many people have called me in prominent position and said, Saeed, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? Because they are concerned. They are concerned. Call a good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
To you, my friend.
And boy, I must say, you're really made of hardened steel. Bring up that. You're tough, you're tough. About what I really call you to tell is, I live in the proximity to the Caroni roundabout, where the vendors were served notices recently. As a matter of fact, yesterday was supposed to be the last day. All the crab people on the other side of the bridge. And so a person was telling me this, and I find it to be very interesting. With your input and other people's input, we have found a way to decriminalize marijuana, which ever since as a little boy I knew it was illegal. And we have found a way to decriminalize that. You telling me we cannot find a solution to these vendors by the roundabout? Say, these people don't have a choice, you know. They don't have a choice.
Correct.
They have no choice. This is how they earn the little pittance to take care of the family, especially in a pandemic.
Yes.
And you know, what is heartbreaking is the PNM, one of the mantras is, we are a caring government. How you are a caring government when you're going to send all these people home? Side, what are you going to do? I am a happy retired person and I know where my money coming from, but what these people going to do? And Khadija was there yesterday. She had a little dialogue with the people. But I find it strange. The Member of Parliament, Dinesh Rambali, is quite silent.
Yes, yes.
Dinesh Rambali should come forward and say something. Vending on Charlotte Street is regularized.
Yes, yes. They found a solution.
What are you wrong about?
Yes.
My heart breaking for these people, all the best side.
Thank you, my friend. So you see, viewers, last night a man calling said, Said they should use a platform for X, Y, and Z, but he didn't know that is already taking place. That has already taken place. The first year, the first couple of months on television, I breaking waves already. Because you see, I didn't come for friend, you know, I come for solution. That's what I come for. And if you're on this bandwagon, you have to be coming for a solution. Let me tell you something. If you are part of the problem, If you are a part of the problem, you could never be a part of the solution. You see, that English might be too high for some people to understand. If you're encouraging guns to come in, how you could be part of the problem to fix the gun from coming in when you are part that bringing it in? High English, many people wouldn't understand that. So the thing with Alexander, I just show you all something. I congratulate him. It's a nice portfolio. But when you trickle down backwards, a couple of years back, and you realize what took place with the justice system, understand what took place with Hernandez, understand where we're going. Understand where we're going. And I will leave all you to think on that. Those of you who know what I'm talking about would understand that. But I will find another day, someday next week, to break it down so the smaller people would understand it. So we're going on to health. Terrence, Minister, the Minister of Health, Terrence, the Minister, have stated that COVAX facility has confirmed its next shipment of COVID-19 vaccine to TNT. They are stated that COVAX has confirmed that we will receive another 33,600 doses in May.
For those wishing to make appointments for future vaccinations, COVAX has confirmed that we will be receiving another 33,600 doses in May. When we have that confirmed date and a confirmed date to start that phase, persons can then start to make their appointments. Please don't make appointments now. That is not how we are operating because we don't have a start date. We can't give you a start date. Once we receive the vaccines and we know the expiry dates, as usual, we will communicate with the members of the public so that they can make their appointments.
Trinidad and Tobago signed on to the facility on 18th of September 2020 and made a down payment of $1,477,000. The Alsing also urged the public to refrain from making vaccination appointment until the batches arrived. Yesterday, the Alsing publicly confirmed that TNT first record case of Brazilian variant of the COVID-19 virus P1 was a Venezuelan. However, today he stated whether the person had entered legally or illegally, it is a matter of national security to figure out.
The person is a legal or illegal immigrant, rests with national security. We would have supplied the name of the person and national security will make that determination.
Where is the new Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines? Where is he? In a matter like this, an individual tested positive, Brazilian variant, COVID-19 P1, a more dangerous COVID than the normal COVID-19. Where is the Minister of National Security? Did he came out and said, yes, they entered illegally? Where is him? On a serious note like this, where is him? You know what he doing? He congratulating the former Minister of National Security, Stuart Young, who is now the Minister of Energy. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you for the gas deal between M4 and M5. And thank you for restarting the plan. You are watching your portfolio. You don't start bad. You are watching your portfolio. You're watching our next man's portfolio. You don't start bad already. We have a serious matter. Trinidad and Tobago wants to know if the individual that tested positive for the P1 Brazilian variant COVID-19, is he legal or illegal? That is what Trinidad and Tobago wants to know. because it is a more dangerous virus than the normal COVID-19. So where's the Minister of National Security? You start to hide already? See about your portfolio, not an X-Man one. Not an X-Man one. You have a serious matter in your hand. You have to wonder how Trinidad and Tobago will treat you. Waiting for you. I'm waiting to hear your statement. I'm waiting to hear your statement. Caller, good night.
Yes, hi, good night.
Go right ahead. You're live on Real Talk.
I had quick points, right? Concerning the market vendors and thing, right? And the vendors on the streets and thing, right? The mayor and the corporation police and thing, they forget who it is paying the salary. They forget the taxpayers paying the salary, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, when you go in the market, you know how many people it is having in the market. People walking close to you, people jumbling up all over and thing. Right. If the people selling their fresh produce on the outside, and you could buy where it have less people, less crowd, and that will be safer for the consumer and the person that's selling the goods. Right?
Go ahead.
My second point is that Terence Dial Singh, how many Spanish or how many Venezuelans are they testing to know that it's Trinidadians alone lying on the... If they're not testing the people, how are they going to know if they have the virus or not?
Correct.
Right? My third point, they charge Mark Hernandez for misbehavior in public office.
Correct.
Whereby Roger Alexander was misbehaving in public office but wasn't charged. But you move on who you're charging later, put a man who was previously in court for the same thing. That ain't making sense to me. It come like you're taking a handicapped person out of position and putting back a handicapped person. It ain't making sense. And here what, my last thing, right, to Rajiv Dipti. I understand what you're doing and thing is very admirable and thing, right? But I work for a company, right? And it has certain supermarkets that own companies right now. And every time you go to collect a bill, they tell you, come back next week, come back next month, come back next week, come back next month. And only 10 people good. He should try to see all the supermarkets that own manufacturers and people that supplying them with goods.
Yes.
And let them pay the people. You understand?
I understand what you're saying.
See about your own affairs, please now.
Caller, thank you so much for your points. Valid point. Very, very valid. So you see, viewers, this is where we have discussion and we look for solutions. We look for solutions. Now, for the market vendors in the market, is only so much they could contain. If they have space for 50 market vendors, there are other families who would love to go in the market. They would love to, but they have no other choice but to sell outside on the pavement. They have no other choice. And this is how the system is running. But the borough needs to understand. The mayor in certain areas needs to understand, come up with a plan. Because those same market vendors paying tax that all you're collecting on a big salary when the month come. Now the government say, Ministry of Finance say, they hardly have money to pay salary. They hardly have money to pay salary. But I have a story for you tomorrow night. I have a story for you tomorrow night. You will hold your head and bawl. They only have money to pay salary, right? We will keep that for tonight. But tomorrow night, I will remind all you. Minister of Energy Stuart Young is targeting illegal quarrying among his goals in the Energy Ministry, and resources will be dedicated to this drive. Young confirmed that after video surfaced showing quarrying in a part of the northern range near Kumaka emerged, it depicted how the Green Mountain side was damaged by a huge hole after vegetation was stripped down to rocks. The video supplied by environmentalist Gary Aboud also showed the river being choked by mud, which is also washing off the mountain side from the work. Young also noted that illegal quarrying is an area he intends to dedicate resources to tackling. Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Said.
My friend, go right ahead.
Said, do you know that Stuart Young, Keith Rowley, and Diyal Singh supposed to be in jail all now for the road that they had led this country down? And where we are today, and all the deaths that is occurring right now in this country, they are responsible for it. But it's only in Trinidad and Tobago. I tried to do our research to find out another country where you can put somebody to hold key positions in a country, in a ministry, and not be qualified for it. And in our constitution, you cannot hold these people accountable for what they are doing to the country, because they can easily say that, here what, not qualified for that position. We have a man who can even determine what a Panadol and a Kafanol is as the Minister of Health. We have Stuart Young now. He is the Minister of Energy. He don't know what it is cooking oil look like from crude oil. We have a man who in charge of finance in this country, who's a carpenter who couldn't build a little stadium in Grenada. We have a woman who cannot determine what type of balls is balls as the sports minister in this country. We have a geologist as the prime minister who mining gold in Tobago. And these are the kind of people we have in key positions that govern in Trinidad and Tobago. And in our constitution, we cannot invoke any law to hold these people accountable for what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, because they can easily say, here what, I am not qualified for that job. I just doing it because I was appointed to do it. And then they'll lay the blame on the population. They'll lay the blame on everything. And if we don't fix that in this country and start to put people who are qualified to manage the country economy and the health system and the teaching system and every single part of this country. So when you see things like what is happening right now in Trinidad and Tobago is happening, and you cannot hold, you have to hold them accountable for it. So they cannot think now with the, like how the spike in COVID take place here now. And the man say, go come Tobago. While we having an increase in COVID, he say, come Tobago and all lime and party and thing. And now we in a condition, a situation like this. And now he can rock back and enjoy his life and his pension while everybody else suffering in the country. We have to fix that. And if it do fix in this country, well then, we don't do already. We'll just be going on that road faster. Have a good night, Mr. Said. Enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you, my friend. Well said. Like I said, how you think Tobago is free of COVID? It's because from the beginning, whenever a case pop up in Tobago, they will ship them to Trinidad. They will ship them to Trinidad. That is why he said, come to Tobago. It is safe. It is green. We have no COVID. Why? Because they was bringing everybody to Trinidad. That is why they didn't have any. Do all the research, you'll go find out. So viewers, an estimated $300,000 in cocaine was found hidden in prunes fruit at Titipos National Mail Center in Piaco yesterday evening. Senior sources stated that the package was dropped off at the Titipos National Mail Center just after lunch yesterday. The officers later opened the prunes and cherry in the preserved package and found what appeared to be cocaine hidden inside. The drug was later weighed and some 610 grams were discovered. Sources say the estimated street value was $55,000 US. That is $374,000 in TT money. 1 kilogram, 1,000 grams of cocaine, according to law enforcement sources, is worth approximately $80,000 US. On the streets, the drug shipment was destined for the United States. Investigations are ongoing. In other news, the 26-year-old man held in connection with the raping and sodomizing of an 85-year-old woman is expected to be put on identification parade. If he is identified, Marbella police will formally charge him for sexual offense. So far, he is not known to be a suspect involved in any crime in the Southern Division. The suspect has been convicted of a robbery for which he served 2 years in jail. Marbella police arrested the man on Monday on the roadside in Marbella after a tip-off. Inquiries are ongoing. A 46-year-old man was ordered to have absolute no contact with his 13-year-old cousin after appearing before a Port of Spain magistrate charged with sexual touching. The accused, a laborer who resides in Sawa, was given the order by Magistrate Indar Jagru as part of his bail condition, which was set at $80,000. He will reappear on court on May 25th. Boy, let me tell you something. This sex case just keep going and going and going, you know. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, we are on tomorrow night, Bacchanal Thursday. And keep in mind, really, our Friday segment, Real Talk Relationship segment, we are on Friday as normal. So viewers, be safe. Until I see you again, good night.